Hello everyone, welcome back to the longer version, the longer video about discovering the advantage. So if you want to discover our advantage, one of the ways is to be aware of our environment. I'll give you a concrete example. Imagine that you and your colleagues at your office, you go every day to the same Italian pizzeria, same restaurant. And at some point of time you start asking yourself, why do we go to the same place? What is special about it? You look at the menu, the same pizzas, the same prices. Look at the service, pretty much on the same level like anywhere else. But why your colleagues prefer this concrete place than, let's say, the neighboring restaurants? And if you have the awareness, if you have the desire really to pay attention to the environment, then maybe you can notice that this restaurant offers something that the others don't offer. For example, you can order your food online 1 hour before you go there, and then you save your time waiting. So this kind of awareness can turn into an advantage. Maybe you don't have a restaurant, but maybe you would like to create another type of business where people order service or order products. And instead of them going to the shop and picking them up, maybe you can use this service that can simplify their life. For example, imagine that you work in a big discounter for food. Instead of people after work to go and purchase all the products, all the drinks, all the bread and the food, and they have to waste the time to wait on queue, spend time in the shop itself, they can simply make the orders until 2 p.m. through their app, and then when they go back home, on the way to home, they just drive through the shopping mall, through the shop, and they pick up. Everything is ready, packaged, and they just have to pay. So this is how we can use our awareness about the environment and multiply it or replicate it into another context. And this is how we build advantage. Another way is to look at our weaknesses. Nobody likes to look at that, but sometimes our weaknesses are there to teach us something, maybe something that we miss. Although it could be painful and challenging, this kind of trials are tests for us. And I'll give you a concrete example. Imagine that you go in a new country, in a different land, and you start working at the university. You're studying at university, and you have been through all these problems of getting enrolled, preparing all the documents in a foreign language, doing all the communication, correspondence, meeting deadlines. And everyone who has applied for university abroad knows the hassle. And your weakness was that you were not good at organizing yourself. But the concrete experience applying, being admitted at the university, taught you how to be organized. So your weakness is overcome. And after we overcame our weakness, maybe we can draw something as an advantage out of it. Another business idea could be, since there are so many other students from foreign lands who want to study at this university, maybe from your own country or maybe from another one, maybe you can offer them this service, that they don't have to bother themselves with all this bureaucracy, but you can organize it as a pay service. Again, advantage which you can draw out of your weakness after you overcome the weakness. Very important. Third source, the strengths. We spoke about the strength. These are our habits. These are our talents, to be more precise, not habits. These are our talents that we are born with, their strengths. They can be a big source of advantage. Look, for example, I'll give you, I mentioned the story about Nikola Tesla, the greatest, purely the greatest scientist of all times. He had a huge strength. He could imagine all the experiments in his mind, and he was so concrete, so detailed in his mind picture how the electricity experiments have to be carried out, that he never actually did experiments to test things. He was building from scratch everything to a fully functional machine or electrical circuit. So his strength, his natural talent, that he could imagine all the elements up front, all the possible results up front, allowed him to save time, to save costs. and to have a very high pace of progress in his scientific research. Yes, but maybe some of you now are going to say, okay, I'm looking at my environment, I'm looking at my weaknesses, my strengths, but where is my advantage? I'm just like everybody else. I'm not good at public speaking, let's say. I don't like to make presentations, or I'm not good in mathematics, or my environment, my friends are all like me. I don't see anything special in my city happening, and I don't think I have any advantage. Well, hold on, for sure you have, but maybe sometimes it requires that we look a little bit deeper. Looking deeper usually means to look in our everyday activities. Imagine that, how do you spend your free time with your friends? Saturday evening, you meet your best friends. What are you talking about with them? What really drives you? What excites you? What kind of topic could that be? Is it putting together model airplanes, like the small parts, put them together with glue, then paint them? If this is something which so much intrigues you and captures your attention, maybe inside this hobby, in this activity, is not necessarily that you should paint airplanes, but maybe there is something related to attention to the detail. Maybe you want to have the advantage, the hidden advantage to be a designer, or to be a person who is constructing things. On the other side, if you don't notice anything special, but you love to go to the classical concerts and just enjoy classical music, and maybe this reveals something else. Maybe you have the advantage that you understand this music. And if you understand this music, how could it be an advantage for you? Well, if you want to improve your networking, let's say, you could use the classical music. You could go to events through Meetup, for example, and meet other people who have the same appreciation, the same interest. And then you can enrich yourself through this special interest. Or if, let's say, you love the music, but you have and you like to relax with the music, you feel very concentrated and in harmony with yourself, but you have a very stressful exam. Well, why don't you integrate the music as something to relax with preparing for the exam? Maybe you can listen to the classical music while you are studying, so that you can decrease your stress level. Again, a simple thing like the music could become your advantage. Another way, which is a little bit unknown and unwanted by many of us. We like to hear the opinions about ourselves coming from people who we love, people who are dear to us, friends, family, But almost nobody is asking the people who are indifferent towards him or her. Imagine that you have a colleague from the other department with whom you work occasionally, but you're not friends, you don't even go to lunch together. However, maybe this person can observe things that all your other friends and close people miss or intentionally don't tell you. Could be a weakness, could be a strength. So look for people who know you relatively well, either professionally or personally, but are not necessarily close to you. And ask them about the feedback, and be ready to take the feedback. This doesn't mean you have to trust the feedback, you have to let it inside, but accept it. If you had even dispute at some point of time, rivalry with somebody, even these people, if you approach, if they tell you a good quality, it's more likely to trust the people who are not your friends telling you a good thing about you than people who are your friends. This is just another angle how to do it. If we want to develop our advantage, it's extremely important to be very much aware, to look at the situation, look at ourselves as impartially as possible, and even to pay attention to the small things, even to the listening to the music or to the restaurant that we visit. And within this we can discover advantages. Once we know how our advantage could look like, after we have discovered it, after we have the awareness about ourselves and about the environment, then all these elements we build together, and now we can build the vision. So in the next videos, I'll speak with you about how to integrate all these elements and finally create the vision, one of the most difficult things. So, see you soon, take care and goodbye.